fucked up. Like, people gotten so soft.
Yeah.
So soft.
Screw all that.
Look at your raw lifters. Look how soft they are. They're just so upset and they're so angry. They're so upset about everything. They care so much. They care more about what other people do than their own trading.
Let's talk about that.
Dude.
Let's talk about the ever lovely conversation about raw versus geared lifting.
Let's do it. Okay.
You want to do that? We'll get a lot of clicks on this. A lot of raw lifters will be like, what did he say?
I have a lot of shit to say about raw lifters and that shit.
Why do you think raw lifters have such a negative view of geared lifters and what we do?
Well, let's start off with we're going to start on layer 1 and we'll just dig through the layers. I think at the top it's just...
How many layers of this onion?
Layers yeah, layers of this onion. Man, raw lifters, once and foremost, I get it. It's very entry level. Anyone can do raw.
Well, that's why they love it. It's because anybody can do raw. It's great.
It doesn't take commitment and there's no skill requirement. There is no skill really needed to do raw lifting. Anyone can walk up to a bar, squat, bench, deadlift.
Yeah.
Bench only raw is the easiest shit in the world. Requires no. That's why there's so many fucking big fat dudes who do it. Yeah. You don't have to be in shape to do bench only. You lay underneath it and
yep.
It's easy. There's no
you got
skill
a big belly,
position,
you're just moving it. Like, yeah.
And some people are just gifted at benching and they do it, you know. If it was hard, they would do squat only, but they don't because it's fucking hard. So
is there even a squat only category?
You can do squat only, buddy. Let me tell you. But people don't do it because it's tough.
There's a category for all of them. But if I ever catch anybody doing it, I'm gonna give you the most shit.
Look, if you're not doing full power, I don't care.
Full power, nothing.
I'm gonna be honest. You're not a power lifter if you do full power. Full power lifters have a total. Yeah.
That's just true. That's what powerlifting. Okay, that's what power. That's okay. I'm gonna dig on that. People are gonna give me flack. In my opinion, powerlifting is a total of 3 lifts. You're not a powerlifter unless you get a total of all 3 lifts. You want to be a specialist? That's fine. Call yourself a specialist. Come do a meet, but don't sit there and say that you're a powerlifter because you're not.
You're fucking not.
You're not.
My favorite quote, and Mark Miller told me this himself, and I love repeating this. If you're a specialist, you're a shitty powerlifter because you're good at one lift. A good powerlifter is good at all 3. Prime example, Jeremy Hamilton beat Dan Green, I think, at Boss of Bosses 2 or 3. He didn't take a single world record in any of the 3, but took the total world record because he was good at all 3.
Yeah.
He wasn't specialized in one lift and then had to make up with the other 2. He was so good at all 3. He wasn't the best at any of them, but all 3 together combined gave him the best total world record at the time.
It's like school or anything else in life. You can't go to school, be really good at math, and suck at everything else and expect to graduate. This is not going to happen. It's like you're going to be held back. And that's what we're doing. I'm going to say it right now. We're holding you guys back.
So my biggest thing with raw lifting, I think in honest evaluations is a lot of pride and ego because there's so much dick comparison, I guess is the terminology to use it for when it comes to raw is how much you can do, what can you do? Everyone's able to self-justify their lifts in raw much easier. It's much more comprehensible to the person.
Yeah.
They also don't have an understanding because they've never been in it. You see a guy in a bench shirt and you just think, oh, it's like a slingshot, man. It's no skill. It's easy.
I think what it is to build on that, I think like it's the relativity of strength is where they feel better with that conversation because, you know, they'll go strength is relative to my body weight. But
you should.
At the same time, strength is also absolute. So the total matters.
All lifters have a small margin of optimal performance. You've got a window of 3 to 7, 3 to 5 realistic years. And nowadays, look at the quick rotation of lifters. How many have come and go? Your lower weight class guy, you know, win and able to go. Like Cece Holcomb was one. Steffi Cohen's come and gone. I think she was more by choice. You got Jesse Norris was one. Brett Gibbs. There was the other 181 and Malik Nernderson, I think was his name. Sorry if I excuse that. He was a 181 on top for years. There's just so many. The smaller Lillybridge, he was a high-end competitor. George Lehman, Pete Rubish. There's so many guys who've just. I'm sure there's a laundry list more, but there's so many guys in raw who have just cycled in and out so quickly in and out. They don't.
Well, it's because it's raw. Most people, I will say this: the people that we just named off, most people are not coming in even to the 5%ers, the 1%ers, and stuff like that. You're not going to be those guys out there doing those. Majority of you guys are not. Let's just be real about it. There's going to be a wall that you guys hit that you guys are not comfortable with crossing any further being a raw lifter.
You will break down much quicker raw.
Yeah, but to go even further with that point, this is why I really love geared lifting. There's technique to it, so we're all technicians, right? Mm-hmm. When we hit, most of us geared lifters have started off raw. When we hit that wall, we figured out that we wanted to keep, or some of us just said to ourselves, we wanted to keep going with this. And learning gear is the ultimate test of being a student and technician. Like, you have to master the movement, and which is a whole different movement than raw lifting in all three lifts, to get it right. If you're going to be moving big weight with geared lifting, you need to learn the technique of lifting in gear. It's a whole nother game.
I'll give my little quick summary and story on it. So I started off as any raw guy, new to it, thought raw's cool, fuck anything else. Raw's fucking legit. It's the only thing that matters. Fuck gear. Without the pre-conscious or any kind of context of knowing what gear was, I'd never been in it. So I got club feet, which has given me, I got both feet on my club feet. So I've had tons of hip problems over the years. I did raw for a long time. Longevity wise, raw was never a full option. The more I fought that, I did my last raw meet in these, it was winter, December 2018. It's been a while, yeah. December 2018. I went to that meet 6 weeks out. I tore my hip labrum and still went to that meet. I did okay raw, but I got so sick of hurting and aching all the time and then trying to fix a broken hip, rehab it. I just said, fuck it, give me some briefs. So from February to June 27th, we did the meet together. It was the first time I got in gear. I started in single ply. From raw to single ply, like 3 months time, I trained single ply. I learned the gear because the way I lifted anyway was pretty relevant to the way you'd be the technician in gear. And I told him my first 2,000 at 212 in single ply in 3 months of training in gear.
That was a fun meet.
That was a fucking phenomenal meet. I loved it. I got to meet and train and hang with Nick Ramey, who now is a good buddy of mine. I'll text him every now and then, check in on him.
Logan Chapman. There's good raw lifters right there. Like, you want to talk about good raw
my buddy
lifters.
Matt, Matt Freifogel. Picture me and him, shirts off and drinking a beer after the meet. That was a good fucking time. What an awesome guy. And he just retired, but he went out with a bang. He did great with raw. But my big thing is, I got in gear and I understood, man, there's a lot more to this.
Yeah.
You have to learn it. And I think the biggest thing for me, one of my top 3 reasons, is that skill acquisition meets physical prowess. Anyone can have great physical prowess. Everyone starts at a different level of physical prowess. You can train raw forever. Some guys will never squat 7 or 8, no matter how hard they try. They may put 10, 15 years and get somewhat close. There's guys who've trained 10 years and haven't benched 315.
Yep. That's
a limiting factor. But you hop in gear, you now meet this crossover of how good can you be at a skill combined with physical prowess. Me and Chris Bell talked about this when I was at Super Training. He came up to me, he's like, how much you bench raw? I was like, man, I think the best I ever did was like 435 for a triple. He started laughing. He's like, man, I bench like 465 raw. But you can bench 100 pounds more than me in a shirt. He's like, isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
To him, it was like, man, that didn't make any sense. But to me...
And it doesn't. Like, on the surface level, that doesn't make any sense at all.
But to me, we kept talking. He was like, well, yeah, man. He's like, you're just a better technician in a skill. He's like, I may be stronger than you, but because you're better skilled at a shirt, you're better than me. You get a higher total.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's a much more equal playing field because you not only have to be just stupidly physically... Look, if you're not strong with that gear, you won't be strong with it.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised to find out most people who train in gear also train raw pretty frequently.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I know it's hard to believe. But at the end of the day,
No, they don't.
No, they don't. It's a combination of the two. You have to be skilled and know the technique and the equipment, and you also have to be strong.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. Strong is strong. There's guys who I bench more than raw who can put a shirt on and fucking murder me.
Yep.
And I've seen it happen. There's plenty of guys around me who've got time on me. And that one of my reason number 2, I watched Brent Tracy, one of my mentors. I love Big Daddy to death. Oh, fucking Brent Tracy. I love that.
That's not a cell block.
I got so many
stories.
stories.
Don't know, Brent's the one that runs Cell Block.
You know, West Side guy. But at 50 years old, he told it as like 2040. At 50 years old, he got his best. At 198. Motherfucker shredded and ripped, and he's been training 30-something years. So you look at the guys who've been in raw long-term, progressively, comparatively to your equipped lifters, the equipped guys are lasting longer. They're still progressing. Brian, prime example.
Less injuries, too. Like, honestly, less injuries overall.
Absolutely. Let's see. Brian, he is 46 and is continuing to get better as he gets older. So
I'm 40 myself, guys. Yeah. I couldn't keep up with raw. I mean, I'm not saying it about being a pussy or anything like that. It's just like there becomes a time where, and I was pushing myself. There's those people. I say this, and you guys don't get it mistaken. There's people that say they hit a wall. They didn't hit a wall. They're just saying they hit a wall because it's really uncomfortable. And then there's people that know they hit a damn wall and know better. And they hit the damn wall for real. I hit the damn wall. So it's just one of those things, like, to go back to, I totally agree. Like, that's why I got into it. It was just like I fell in love with, like you said, where strength meets being a technician, and
not fucking hurting too is great.
yeah.
Yep.
Your sessions will hurt though, but you're not gonna be injured later. Hurting when you're in gear and learning how to use a bench shirt. Walk away. Put a bench shirt on for the first time. Tell me you don't walk away without real fucked up marks and hurts.
It's awesome.
If you don't, you're not using it right. Period.
Anytime.
Or it doesn't fit you right.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But the pressure is a hard thing to get used to too. It's like I watched Steven the first time he ever got in a shirt dump that motherfucker sideways, and then he was cautious and a little bit. I guess the word anxious to get in the shirt again. So we finally gotten one, and he had a much better time. We didn't let him go past like a 3 board or two board at the most, and it worked a lot better. He was like, "Oh, okay, man, briefs and squat probably gonna come a lot easier, a bit more fun for people."
Yeah,
shirt what kills them. Shirt what kills them.
It's the equalizer.
I know. I hate saying this. However, I'm gonna say anyway, as I know my skill level in a shirt's a bit higher than most, especially for people my size.
Yeah.
I'm keeping up with a couple guys who are 275ers, 242s, and need a couple 308s around being shirt. Just because I am, for whatever reason, good in a shirt.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
This is how it is. It's like there's some really good natural. You ever see those raw lifters that just, how long have you been training? A couple of months, and they're just phenomenal.
Yeah, Nicole's a prime example.
Yeah,
she just fucking pulled 500. When I met her, she pulled like 360 at a meet. Then she pulled her first 400 like 2 months later with me. And then
Nicole Dunlap. She's like number 10th in what class is it? She's like 10 in the world right now.
165 in sleeves.
In sleeves.
That's a fun meet.
And she's just, if you ever watch her, check her out. She's just one of those girls where it's just like, holy fuck. Okay.
I'm just used to her doing Nicole things. I always give her shit for her. I was like, it's good enough, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's just because we're so close. I give her shit. Someone's got to keep
Top
her
5 isn't far, Nicole.
Fuck you, Nicole.
But to go back, I think to take it all the way back, I think like really those are really good points of. I think really raw lifters just have a understanding of what geared lifting is.
I think it's a fragile ego and a pride thing. They don't want to get in it because for whatever reason they think there's this weird. There seems to be this weird thing where they think there's this glory, this achievement, and raw. It's cool. It's hit. It's happening. Look at me. I can go to the gym and train. Fucking post my videos. Yes, it's easier, and you don't need people to train raw. Yeah. With gear, you need a good group of people. You have to have trust in people too. So the barrier to entry is there too, because raw you can go anywhere and do it. With equipment, it takes more commitment. Yeah. What do most people now these days really fucking suck at? Commitment, time commitment.
Well, not even that. Commitment to a team. A lot of people don't. Like a lot of people, I think,
and money. Let's be real. Money is an issue for most people.
Yeah, gear costs a lot of money.
There's a lot of kids in their 20s and teens who can't afford to buy a couple. Can't spend a couple $100 here and there in shirts and shit.
But I do get it. Like I do get the simplistic side of things as being a raw lifter. I mean, it is really nice to go in anywhere you want to go, and all you have to worry about is yourself and be on your timetable and do what you want to do. And, and that's great and all. But let's be honest, like. Not that I'm, a purist, because there is some times where I'm just like, that is really nice. Mm-hmm. But powerlifting, if you go back in the days, it was a team sport. It was not necessarily because you're up there by yourself competing individually, but the environment as teams, like you don't see a lot of teams anymore. You don't see crews anymore. You don't see gyms that are like, like dedicated to their groups anymore. Right. It's all about these little pockets of things. But like in essence of powerlifting, that's what it was back in the day. You'd go back into a powerlifting gym. There was, 10 guys over there all doing the same damn thing, supporting each other, being there at the same time.
Talking
4 o'clock in the
shit.
Yeah. To each other, just pushing themselves. And a lot of people don't have the time now to commit to that. And I get it. It's one of those things where it's either you're gonna, find what works for you and what doesn't. But I think that is being used as an excuse to hate on other people who are doing different things.
How many times have you seen equipped lifters go after raw lifters? They don't. It's the other way around. Most equipped lifters are just there's not as much, if any drama going on the quick workouts. They just don't care. Yeah. Everyone's just trying to lift and do their own fucking thing. It's always the raw guys attacking us. And then the raw lifters eat their fucking own like nothing, dude.
You gotta remember, it's because us geared lifters, we still lift raw, man.
Yeah,
like you're just seeing the few times we're in a shirt or a suit or something like that. Those other off times, the accessory movements, and all those other days. Guess what we're doing? Raw work, fuckers. Like
here's an example for me. It's you hand someone who's an equip lifter and they go. You start them off. You're at the path, right? Here's a shirt. You can bench more in this. Person A. Fuck yes, let's bench more in that shirt, dude. That sounds cool. Bigger numbers. Option B. Oh, no, I'm going for a state record. I want to bench this at this body weight. Like, they keep setting up these barriers and having to explain why they're going to be strong or why it's impressive. Dude, no one gets them. And we're geared lifter, everyone's just fucking, everyone's cool and gives a fuck. So I guess I want to lift and just do my own thing and be strong.
It's like the great, I'm going to get some more slack. I'm going to say this, but there's tons, before I say this, I will totally admit there's tons of really strong lifters, way better than me, that are raw, that are even raw lifters that are totaling more than me in my gear. But I'm going to say this, it's just like when people put the filters on their open powerlifting and find out why they're strong, because they're in this class, in this subdivision, and in this state, and in this whatever. Yeah. It's like, bro, nobody gives a fuck about that. Dude, nobody gives a fuck unless you're the top 5. Unless you're the top 5 or top 10, top 10, without filtering shit, nobody gives a shit about your fucking posts. Like, nobody gives a shit. I'm going to say it.
If you have to filter yourself to be strong and impressive, congratulations, it's not. Dude, like my first meet in single ply, I got 2,000 at 212. Nick Ramy out-totaled me raw at 220. Yeah. It was his first 220 meet. Matt Freifogel out-totaled me like 100-something pounds. I didn't care. We were just having fun. Like, Matt Freifogel, the only reason I out-benched him in his shirt was because he missed his, like, 580. So I was like, fuck, give me 585, because I wanted to.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, oh. Dude, at the end of the meet, he came up to me, we hugged, and had a beer together. Yeah. It was fucking awesome. Yeah. That's the shit I love, the community sense. And he's a raw dude.
Yeah.
There's good people everywhere. I mean, I just want to, I think because the pool of raw lifters is bigger, there's a lot more toxicity and negativity in it, as when the gear lifting community is so much smaller.
I feel like we're growing. I feel like we're growing back. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just because we're connecting better with social medias and stuff like that. I do feel like there is a lot more interest in not just multiply, but single ply lifting and stuff like that. Maybe it's just a lot of these raw lifters are getting fucking injured and they're like, we got to do something.
That was me, man. It was like, I can keep pushing for a big raw total, or I can go lift. I can add years and years and years to my total. That's what I did.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts with the raw versus gear debate? Are you guys more pro raw? Are you guys, I don't give a fuck, I'm just lifting for myself? Or do you guys kind of understand and see? Or are you guys geared lifters as well and totally agree with what we're saying? That's it for today, guys. We're going to come back with another review video soon. Woo! I think we're going to do a metal briefs with Zach here.
My favorite, baby. Metal single briefs. Love them, baby. Love them things.
Is that what you're using? Metal single ply briefs?
Metal M single ply briefs.
And you throw that underneath?
My suit. Indoor suit. So.
Leviathan suit?
Yep. Cool. Because Leviathan and I've tried a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about.
Cool. That'll be the next video, guys. You guys stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button because it really helps us promote gear lifting and just powerlifting in general. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you.